What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I got a little snippet of news I want to share with you guys early this morning. So I was scrolling on Twitter and I scrolled through and seen something that McNally Money had reposted, and it's a clipping of a newspaper from Sharon, PA on the 26th, or basically yesterday, kind of talking about Sharon data center and stuff like that. And I'll post it here up on screen here in a second. I just thought it was interesting. You know, after the meeting they went through the other day, everybody, it shook everybody. This is good news, and this kind of just goes and reinforces my thoughts on that. Yes, it was a little bit of negative news, but it's not going to affect them in the long term. If anything, it might slow them down just a tad bit, but the end goal is still the same, and it's still going to be building a data center in Sharon, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to pop it here up on the screen here in a second, but if y'all would, if it's y'all's first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll also leave a link to the Discord if you guys want to come over and join the Discord. All the guys over there are incredible. They post up-to-date information on a daily basis every time, a piece of news comes out. You're definitely sure to find it over there. So be sure to come check out the Discord link in the description. All right, so I'm going to pop it up here and read it for you guys. So it says, Sharon data center not affected by Pennsylvania regs, but more likely on the way. Sharon, new state data center regulations won't affect two centers set for Sharon, its developer said. Our development timeline for the Sharon project remains unchanged, said Amanda, a spokesperson for KEEL Infrastructure. KEEL is a developer for the two centers. KEEL already meets key principles of the new regulations, such as funding its own utility upgrades. That's the commitment we're bringing to Sharon, along with skilled local jobs and lasting investment in the community. Sharon already has approved land development plans for the centers. Other states are joining the race to regulations. In July, New York enacted a moratorium on data center construction permits. Among the new requirements for Pennsylvania data centers are, and I don't know, it won't let me see the rest of it. Somebody from the Herald here in Sharon, PA, spoke to Amanda, which is one of the KEEL representatives, and she basically said, look, we already meet all these standards for the new regulations that the governor put out. We're unaffected by it. We're unaffected by it. If anything, it might slow them down just a hair, but KEEL Infrastructure is positioned to where they're going to be able to comply with anything they throw at them, I think, in my opinion, right? Now, could there be one single outlier somewhere that they might catch a snag along the way and they have to work around that? Of course. But in the grand scheme of things, nothing's changed, guys. If anything, this is more bullish because it shows the resiliency of KEEL Infrastructure in the long term, right? So I really think this kind of should give people and investors more confidence in the company, knowing that even though the environment around them is getting more strict, they're still able to push forward and chart forward. And that's super important, and especially in this kind of space. You need to be resilient because things are changing in the AI landscape on a dime. And it's always good to have a team that's able to pivot in a matter of an instant on either ideas or development or anything, right? It's always good to have a team that's able to pivot in the heat of the moment. And I think KEEL Infrastructure's team is incredible. I think they're in a great position to move forward. And I say all that to say this. You should not be worried about anything in Pennsylvania. These data centers are going to come to market. These data centers are going to get built. And KEEL Infrastructure is going to lead the way in the new age of data centers and how they're built and how they reach out or how they work with the communities and how they also provide with the communities and for the communities, right? They're going to be bringing in and paying for education for their employees to work at those data centers. They're going to be funding the schools in the communities for underprivileged children and even just the schools in general. Like, they're coming into the community not to wreck it, right? They're coming into the community to be a part of it. And I think that's something very, very important. And it's something that all data centers that are coming into communities should do. And I really think they should, all of them should take up KEEL's business model, because so far, so good. And I really do think, the more that they build and the further along they get, they're going to come up with better ideas. They're going to be better for the community. And I think as a whole, KEEL Infrastructure has the opportunity to really change people's minds when it comes to data center development and environmental concerns. And I think they're doing a really good job of that. And I'm ready to see it take place. I'm ready to see the ground get broke. I'm ready to see how they go about things and how the community handles it. Of course, there's always going to be a section of the community that's against it. There's going to be opposition at every turn, but you're going to see it earn a lot of other people's respect that otherwise had doubts as well, right? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You're not always going to be able to change everybody's mind, right? If the world worked like that, the world would be a better place. But unfortunately, everybody has, an opinion, and sometimes their opinion is not always right, but they have a right to that opinion, and, they're going to believe in what they believe in, and that's okay. But we can all live on this earth together and build data centers and, all get along with everybody, right? I think as long as a data center and a company comes in, provides for the community, and don't come in and try to wreck everything, it's a net positive for both sides. So anyway, guys, just wanted to come on here with that quick video just to share that piece of news with you guys. Thought it was interesting. They're making the front page of the Herald in Sharon, Pennsylvania. So KEEL Infrastructure is making a splash. Even though it might be a negative splash at first, it's still a splash, and it's still publicity, which is, all publicity is good publicity in my opinion. So anyway, guys, hope y'all have a great Thursday. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see y'all in tomorrow.